Cool. We're here for a chat.
We're here for a chat for you people, especially for our upcoming G-Land coaching trip. Twiggy is here, Lena is here. Hello, everyone. We're going to talk about, I guess, surfing in general, how to be a better surfer, how to surf better. And if you're about to go to a surf coaching trip, how to prepare at your best, especially according to equipment. Okay, so we're going to talk about the boards. If you're about to go to G-Land, a surf coaching trip for 1 week, which board you have to take with you, or boards?
Okay, so I'm going to keep it pretty simple. We don't want to step outside of our comfort zone by too much because we're already going somewhere different. And that can play on people's minds. And it shouldn't, because most of you or all of you coming are here in Bali surfing, right? So you're already surfing reef breaks. We're just going to a different reef break. So it will be maybe less familiar to you if you haven't gone there, but you shouldn't place too much importance on that and think, oh, I need to change boards, or I need to do this, or it's okay to change boards. But the point I really want to drive home is the best coaching and the best things you will learn are when you feel comfortable. So if you change boards to something that you're not comfortable on, or a lot less comfortable on, it's going to be really hard to learn. So if people are bringing one surfboard, I pretty much always advise that they bring the surfboard they're most comfortable riding. Now, by most comfortable riding, I mean very specifically, you can go to breaks here in Bali, catch your own waves efficiently, calmly, and let's say you have a success rate of more than 50% when you identify, paddle for, and catch your own waves, right? This is really important. So people often talk about if you're able to bring a second board too, I will point out, then so you've got the board you're most comfortable with. And if you want to bring a second board, that depends a little on where you want to go with your surfing or what you would like to try. So let's say, for example, you're riding a 6'6", 35-litre board. If you want to step down from that and you feel that you're ready, maybe come down to a 6'2" and take off 1 or 2 litres. If you're a sort of person who might want to, you say you're riding a mid-length, a 7.0 or a 7.2, I wouldn't step down to anything underneath 6'6". And again, just a couple of litres difference. The reason I talk about this is because you're going to feel things it's not going to be so unfamiliar to you that it creates tension, right? Because tension is the enemy of surfing, and it's definitely the enemy of learning better technique and surfing.
There will be challenges, like new breaks, new crowd, new atmosphere, new energy. So rather, board should be your support rather than another challenge, right?
A little bit different, for sure. Bring it along, especially if you're bringing 2 boards. Then we have this we as coaches might identify that, okay, this person on their normal board looks super comfortable and they're doing a great job identifying waves, entering the wave well, and riding the wave. Cool. All right, let's put them on something slightly shorter, slightly less volume. Now, we could also flip that onto its head, right? If someone comes on a board that's too short and maybe it doesn't have enough volume, or maybe it's really short and has a lot of volume, which can also cause problems, and we'll get to that point soon, then we might go, okay, this person needs to try a longer board. And it may not necessarily need to have more volume than they're already on, just something with more stability and length so it glides into the wave better. And be very sure of this, like the more time you have, the more you're able to relax. So a longer board will allow you into a wave earlier. And this is like an equation that can't be argued with, whether it's like, you know, whether you're riding a 5.9 and we just put you on a 6.2, or you're riding a 6.6 but we put you on a 6.10, that board is going to glide across the water and into the wave a little bit better. Now, we're here, or going to this place, to just to show you how to be comfortable in these waves. And the more you bring that helps you to be comfortable, the better.
Cool. And here's the moment of truth. And truth is going to be crucial. Everyone who's going for a surf trip as such has to be able to take their own waves.
Yep.
Catch their own waves, right? And we will try to, as much as possible, prepare you guys for that as well by discussing some energy topics, which is crowd, other people, waves, a little bit bigger surf, and so on, and spatial awareness. I guess this is our favorite topic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but like, don't expect to be pushed onto the waves in such retreats and trips. I mean, help is there if you need it, if you really need it, and like just a little push. However, I mean, just being honest, before you try a shorter board, make sure that you're catching waves.
Yep. And look, so there's something that's worth mentioning, and I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. It's the energy equation, right? So the ocean is energy, the waves are energy. Whatever and each person is different. There's the energy, the wave energy that you're comfortable with, and at some point you reach a size where you become less comfortable or uncomfortable. So we don't ever want to sort of go too far out of that comfortability, especially when we're trying to learn, right? When you want to challenge yourself, fine. But in a learning coaching capacity, the more comfortable we are with the amount of energy in the ocean, the better. Now, that energy equation is also people. People are energy. So as you would definitely know, when you surf really crowded waves, all that energy makes you tense. You don't know what this people's doing, that people's doing. It adds to the problem, or the amount of energy in the water is magnified, not just by waves, but by people, and can really get in the way of not just learning, but just having a good time, right? So these things are really important too. So we're going to talk a lot about that at the camp, but I just want people to understand that energy equation is really important, and we're always looking for not going out in energy that's way above what we're used to, especially in a coaching situation.
Cool. One of the thing or reason why people would prefer a shorter board or shorter boards is that a duck dive. So I very often hear from people, especially ladies, women, like, I can't operate a longer board because then I can't duck dive. So I kind of need a shorter board so I'm comfortable duck diving while I'm in a lineup. Is that true?
So this is a subject that needs to be talked about, and I'm going to give examples, right? So for me, when I was learning to surf, and I talk about right at the beginning. So I was 6 years old, and I could tell you it probably wasn't until I was above 12 years old, so 6 years of surfing a lot, until I was riding a board that I could duck dive. 6 years, right? So whatever it was, like, duck diving is not surfing. Learning to surf is not about duck diving. Duck diving happens later. You learn to surf first, you learn to duck dive competently a bit later on. Now, I think like I can use Elena as a good example here. Like she's 167 centimeters, you said,
66.
and about 55 kilograms,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
Now, we ride, and I'm 85 kilograms and about 188 centimeters. We ride very similar surfboards, right? Now, I have the advantage of incredibly long arms and 49 years of experience in the ocean. I paddle and do all those things really well. But Elena duck dives very well. She surfs those boards very well. She rides a 6.0 and a 6.2 as her main two boards. This is a woman who's been surfing for over 15 years and knows the ocean quite well and does everything quite competently. So I think it's really important for people to understand, if you're so focused on being able to duck dive, you're going to put yourself on equipment that doesn't allow you to progress, or does so very slowly and even more gradually. And surfing is already a very long process of learning. I would call it 5 to 10 years just to become okay at it.
Right, right. I mean, it just makes it harder. Like we're out there for catching waves, and everything will be helpful, supportive to me to catch more waves. This like, I'll take it.
Yeah. And so I want to add to this part of the conversation. So you could be watching this going, yeah, but what about when I go out into waves and I just can't possibly duck dive this board that goes good for me and catches waves good for me, but there's too much energy in the ocean for me to like get this board out to the break or duck dive or whatever it is. And the simple answer is you're not ready for those waves. And I know people aren't going to want to hear this, but it's about taking all these measurements and doing your best to get them right all the time to maximize your progression, right? So again, like I know it's a difficult subject and people kind of sometimes don't want to hear this stuff, but it's really important. It's just like, just find a place with a bit less wave energy so you can manage that surfboard. That surfboard, the surfboards that is right for you at any part of your surfing journey is the right board. That will help you to progress. But taking it out in conditions that you aren't able to manage it in, that will cause tension, trauma, whatever it is. This surfing journey is a gradual experience, and it's kind of like we live in a world where everyone wants it and they want it now, and surfing's not like that. But I guarantee you, if you take the long road, you will definitely benefit from it. Be patient.
I mean, benefit obviously also have lots of fun on the way.
Yeah.
Do we have to go back to length
Yes.
compared to volume?
Yes, please. So I want to give an example, and this is just off the top of my head, right? And I'm taking into account that we've got some ladies coming. They might want to ride something short around 5'9" or 5'8" or 5'10", and they're going to put a fair bit of volume in that to accommodate being on a smaller board. Now, that amount of foam, like 38 litres, means 38 litres. If you pack it into a small place, it's still 38 litres, and it's hard to get it underwater, right? If you pack that same amount of volume into a longer board with a narrower nose, it's actually easier to duck dive than your shorter board. And again, Elena's proof of this, right? So you have to understand the equations within surfing as well. Like that piece of foam, if I were to talk about, think about two yachts, right? Like a tiny little yacht, 38 foot or whatever it is, and it's in heavy seas and it's like this. And then like get a sleek, much longer yacht that's designed for that type of ocean. It's just going to move through the ocean so much better. And the people on board are probably not going to get sick. They're going to get a better result. right? And this is the same. Like, I wish more people that worked in surf shops were able to give this information, and so many of them aren't. They're like, oh, you're little, you should ride a little board, and it's not necessarily the case. It's a complex equation of where you are in your surfing journey and what is best for you. Now here's a cool thing too, and this is like, we do this on the boats, but it's also possible for us to do in G-Land. We're going to a place with a group of people. Probably we're all going to take 1 or 2 boards, so there's going to be a lot of surfboards. So I may say to you, here, have a go on my board, or here, you should try Elena's board, or yeah. So it's almost like a buffet, a surfboard buffet for us to choose from, and having these 2 coaches with you, they might just go, oh, you should try this board and let's see the result you get. I'm not saying it will happen or it will work, but the opportunity exists for this.